In this video, let's talk about Panasonic's new GH7 camera. Real quick, you're watching VP Land. Special thanks to our sponsors for helping make these videos possible, Blackmagic and Atomos. And now, back to the video. We're here with Sean from Panasonic Lumix. How's it going, Sean?
Hey, it's going great.
We got a new camera.
Yes, we do.
What do we got going on here?
Yeah, so this is the brand new GH7. I believe caught a couple people off guard with such an update in the Micro Four Thirds line for us. But yeah, we are super excited about this because it's bringing a lot of the technologies that we've been deploying in cameras like the S5 Mark II, the Mark IIX, and even stuff that, you know, people had no clue about until the day we made the announcement. So yeah, if we just kind of like run down the list here.
Yeah, let's go for the highlights.
PDAF, so this is the first of the GH line of cameras that supports phase hybrid autofocus. And it is an advanced version of what we're already deploying in the other cameras. By that I mean it has more subject detection options, knowing that people love subject detection in the cameras. So for all those people that like planes and trains, we can detect them for you in the camera.
All right, that's great for the aerial spotting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It has the ability to isolate region of interest on the subject that you're looking at. So we've added like motorcycle detection. I'm a big motorcyclist. So now, instead of just the general motorcycle, you've got the ability to isolate out the helmet on the rider, so you can really kind of narrow your focus a little more critically.
To track the focus of whatever if you want to focus on the bike or the helmet or the person.
Exactly.
And it'll pick up, like if it gets obscured.
Yep.
It'll pick it back up again.
Exactly. Yeah, so all the assist tools that you want if you're going to be someone using it in autofocus. But then when we go like deeper into this, it is a 25.2 megapixel 4/3 sensor. It is a totally different sensor than what we used on the GH6, even though the pixel density is the same.
New sensor.
Yeah. For one, because of PDAF. That's a physical trait of these sensors. This is a BSI sensor, so you're going to get the benefit of the better low light performance, that kind of stuff. But also the fact that the dynamic range boost functionality that we use, which allows us to take a single frame or image from the sensor, process it twice at a high gain and a low gain, and then remux them together to produce an expanded dynamic range, now works across the whole ISO range on this.
Right. So before you were kind of limited of what ISO you could use.
Yeah.
So now any ISO you could use this feature.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for vlog, as an example, because most people are going to shoot and log with a camera like this, on the GH6, log was limited to, with DR boost, up to 2000 ISO was the range that you had to start at for it, which on a 4/3 sensor, that's pretty high.
A little noisy, yeah.
On this, it's now down at 500 ISO, which is right in line with where, you know, it's 640 ISO on the full frame cameras, and it was around 400-ish ISO on, you know, previous GH cameras. So we're right in that middle there. So much more comfortable to work with, much better to use in brighter situations, so you're not having to ND the heck out of the camera. But further than that, this sensor allows us to do things like 4K 120 recording, which is actually a downsample from the 5.7K sensor width. So you're getting a really sharp, really crisp looking 4K 120 that doesn't have to do binning or skipping to get down to it.
And that's internal.
That's internal. We do 5.8K open gate. Anyone that follows Lumix, open gate has been a huge message of ours for a while now. So we get up to 30 frames per second in 5.8K open gate. 17:9 can do 5.7K up to 60p. C4K can do up to 120. Full HD can do up to 240. And then if you want variable frame rate, you can go down to 300 frames per second. That outputs on a 24p pre-slowed down timeline. Even further than this, we go into Codecs. There's a lot about this camera.
There are a lot of updates. Yes, and this one was a little bit of a surprise.
Oh, yeah. So codec-wise, like the GH6, we do ProRes, MOV, MP4, all the normal things you'd expect. Like ProRes is becoming normal in this world. Well, for us at least.
Right.
But yeah, we are super excited that this is the first Lumix camera that is supporting Apple ProRes RAW internal recording.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, and that goes to the CF Express cards or an SSD that you can attach and run through the USB-C connection. So now you've got that access to a ridiculously high quality RAW format which reads out at the 5.7K, the highest resolution at 30p, the highest frame rate, at 4.2 gigabit per second in HQ. So memory will be a fun friend of this camera. Then we also we do C4K there. Our approach to doing RAW video recording is to keep it as raw as possible. So what that means is that 5.7K will be your full sensor width. C4K is an actual windowed C4K on the sensor. The logic of doing downsampling to then create your RAW, we don't agree with that because that kind of defeats the purpose of RAW. So you're actually getting a proper full flexibility with the RAW on this camera. And it kind of all leads to, I think, the star of what we announced and I think shocked very many people on the 5th with this, is the fact that the GH7 and the GH6 are the two cameras in the Lumix lineup that are taking advantage of our licensing agreement with ARRI to bring ARRI Log C3 to these cameras. Now, the super cool thing about this is that this is not just a transform from Vlog to Log C3. This is legitimately at a matrix level. They've created the Log C profile and tuned with this sensor.
Okay.
So it is 100% the actual ARRI Log workflow. So if you're someone that's used to working in Vlog, this is a different workflow than what Vlog does. ARRI Log C3 is a log-to-log profiles or workflow. So you have to be a little more careful and don't treat it like you treat Vlog for editing, where you throw your LUT on first and then edit off that. Edit it in log, monitor with the LUT from ARRI for what your output's going to be. But we are so excited about it because it's first time that it's happened.
Yeah.
That another manufacturer of cameras has allowed their log file to be used on another manufacturer, different manufacturer. And the synergy there, I think, with how this camera can be used for things like director's finders, for those that want to keep the entire workflow together, even for those, as we're finding and talking to many camera operators so far, is that it can be a great camera for places where you don't want to necessarily put a mini LF in danger.
I mean, maybe not the best at crash cam, maybe not the best term.
No,
'cause
100%.
It could totally destroy this camera, but for use cases like that.
Yeah, like 100%. This is one of the things that I always find funny about conversations at these shows is people think that crash cam has that like negative connotation, right? Like, oh, you know, it's a disposable camera. Well, this is the disposable camera on a set. It's easier to do one of these. It's a $2,200 body. It's $200 to add ARRI Log C to it, ARRI Log C3 to it. So in cases like that, yeah, being able to take a camera, you know you're getting the same look, it's the same workflow. Maybe minor little differences, but that's why we've got our DIT here that's got the whole thing set up to show you how quick these two just match together with barely any actual tweaking to it. It opens the door, and especially for those that are new into filmmaking and have aspirations of going to the ARRI cameras, you've got something that gets you set up so that you're comfortable with the workflow.
Yeah.
You know how the colors respond. You know how the system works, so that when you do graduate into that, you know, I've made my money, I can get myself a cinema camera, you have a natural home into like a mini LF as something to grow up into.
That was awesome. And audio.
Audio, yes. Video specs and recording and stuff like that, they're great. Yeah. But if audio is trash, people don't want to watch the beautiful thing that you shot. So we took this opportunity to also release the XLR2, which is the new audio interface adapter that allows you to do 32-bit float audio directly embedded into the video footage.
Okay.
Now, a couple cool tricks with the XLR2. It gives you up to 4 channels of 32-bit float, so 2 XLR inputs and 1 3.5 millimeter input. And that'll be at a 48 kilohertz. And then if you're doing 2 channels, so either on the 3.5 or the XLRs, you can do 96 kilohertz 32-bit.
Okay.
Now the adapter will be available at the same time as the camera. It's $499 in the US for the adapter itself, but that gives you pretty much like the most flexibility you can think of, where you film, you don't have time to check your audio levels, like in an environment like this, and I have just that much more range to work with. And it's going to be a really interesting thing for people that have never worked with it before. Just seeing how much flexibility you have, being able to pull those highs back and lift that whispering.
Especially for run and gun type of stuff, and
also
just being able to have this camera. I mean, I know this is not new, but just being able to add XLR inputs. I know you've had the adapter in the past, but it's still just really convenient to have that option.
Yeah.
If you did have the original XLR adapter box, can you use it on the GH7?
Yeah. There shouldn't be a problem.
I know you wouldn't get the 32-bit float, but could you still use it as just an XLR input?
Yeah. With the original one, you shouldn't have any problem with that. The backwards compatibility of the XLR2 to the other cameras, that part should work fine as well. Some of the cameras may need a firmware update so that they can recognize, because now there's 3 inputs on it instead of 2. But we'll have more information about that as we get closer to when they're going to be on the market. So
I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting it to go the other way. I was more wondering, but that's also great to know. So we get to see more of the recent models.
Yeah.
We'll be able to take it.
Things like 32-bit float are going to be GH7 only at the time, because there are some hardware things as of now that, are needed to make it all work together. But yeah, we're always looking at and thinking, okay, people want to upgrade into something. How do you make sure that it's a good upgrade for everybody? And that means that in some cases, adapters, tools, accessories that you want, being able to use them across the system, that's the stuff that we always kind of keep in mind as we're upgrading the products.
Yeah. Awesome. Pricing and availability?
Yeah. So the GH7 body is going to be $2,200 in the US, and it will be available mid to end July.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thanks for the update. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that's it for this video. Be sure to check out the rest of our Cine Gear coverage over here and hit the subscribe button for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode.